What up, y'all, man? Back with the next episode of the Speaking Heat podcast, man. I am rocking solo right now, but we're gonna jump into things, man. Missed last week, a little bit under the weather, but we're feeling a little bit better this week, and we're gonna get it cracking, man. Exciting week, exciting last week too, but exciting week 6. You know, the NFL, man. We saw some good games and. Some very, very interesting performances and just a good week overall, man. Excited to get back. Excited to get back in the rhythm. You know, obviously had no shows, so I had no editing, so the week was like way more free than normal. But we'll get it back cracking, man. Let's dive into it a little bit. This is probably going to be a little bit quicker of a show. Obviously, rocking dolo solo. But we'll jump into things, man. Let's get the rundown going, man. Let's just really just dive into it, man. We'll dive into some games. Obviously, I think really the main thing from the weekend, at least in my opinion, was obviously Sunday night, right? Sunday night football. Chiefs go out and get a big win, man. A much needed win. They actually looked pretty daggone good. I was actually kind of happy to kind of see the Chiefs kind of have it rolling a little bit. Chiefs went and won a big game against the Lions, man. You know, got a 30-17 win. We saw the Chiefs playing a lot better. We're seeing, you know, them getting a little bit healthier. And I think we saw the result of that, you know, going against a really good Lions team. And defensively, the Chiefs played well. And kind of glad to kind of see them kind of get their mojo back a little bit and pick up a big win. But they really, really needed this win. Defensively, I think, in my opinion, what I saw that really I liked was the fact that their defense really stepped up. Offensively, they're getting some pieces back. So I think this upcoming week, they get another wideout back. So, you know, excited to see the Chiefs kind of get things, you know, back to normal a little bit at least. But big win against the Lions, Sunday Night Football, prime time. I swear, it seems like every week the Chiefs are on a primetime game, and they've not really looked great. So a little bit of change of scenery for the Giants, or not for the Giants, for the Chiefs, man. Picking up a really, really good win. Patrick Mahomes played pretty good. Defensively, I thought they really, really stood out this week. So nice win by the Giants, man, or by the Chiefs. I've got the Giants on the brain, man. But nice win. Nice win. Lions need to get it together, man. They started off the year looking great, and I think they've you know, to a degree have kind of came up short a handful of times this year. But you know, big wins for the Chiefs. Obviously, at the end of the game, we saw Juju Smith-Schuster and I can't remember his name. DB for the Giants, or for the Lions. I keep saying Giants. Giants is going to be the next segment, but the defensive back for the Lions, man, go and smacks Juju in the face, and a whole tussle happens, and a whole thing's going on, and it's just like not a great look for a team that just got beat. So, you know, you should have had the energy, you know, in the game, you know, and you may have been able to help your team a little bit better in winning that game. But nonetheless, Chiefs got a win, impressive win against a good football team. Kind of excited to see where these teams go, man. Obviously, I've had the Giants on the brain, and next is the Giants, man. We saw the Giants start off the weekend early on Thursday night, man. They go and take on the Eagles, division rival, and had a great game, man. Great game. They go and picked up a big win against the Eagles. Impressive win, actually. You know, we saw Scatterboo go and just run through the Eagles defense. Scatterboo and Jackson Dart has played so well this year. To be rookies, you know, you can't ask for more than what they've done for this team. Not just the play on the field, but the energy they've brought this organization and the potential future that they've kind of brought with the anticipation of them every week. Very, very impressive, I think. Obviously, to me, the Eagles, something's just off there. Like I've said, I don't know what it is about the passing game for the Eagles, but in my opinion, they just can't throw the football. And I think this team really needs that because they've had trouble running the football. And we know their bread and butter is the ground game. And I think they've struggled more than years past. And I think the passing game needs to really step up. We see A.J. Brown, is not happy. He's not getting the football. They're just not throwing the ball very well. And I think that's hurting them because their run game has lacked a little bit this year. So Eagles still, I think, are, one of the best teams in the NFL, still going to contend for a Super Bowl, in my opinion. But I think they've got to figure things out. Their coaching staff really needs to get in the lab and figure some stuff out and get this team back rolling because, they're a really good football team. But the Giants, man, looked impressive. They go and picked up a big win on Thursday night, man. They've got all of the momentum in the world right now. So big win for them. Next we got the Panthers, man. The Panthers go and upset the Cowboys. 30-27, picked up a big win. Rico Dowdle, not a revenge game, but kind of a game where like chip on the shoulder type of game going against his old team in the Cowboys. And he goes and ran for 183 yards. And I think he had over 200 yards of total offense. Rico Dowdle had a day, man. They go and picked up a big win against, a pretty good offense, but a struggling Cowboys defense. Dak and George Pickens had a really good game. George Pickens had 9 catches for 168 yards and a score. Dak has played well overall this year, but the Cowboys defense is just not very good, and I think it's costing them. I think it's very, very much costing them. I would like to really see the Cowboys kind of get it together on defense because they have some potential with the way that they're able to put up some points this year. Like, I want to see the Cowboys get it together on defense and start playing some good football on both sides of the ball. Panthers, they look a little bit better every week. And it's nice to see, a young team, a struggling team kind of find themselves a little bit and being able to win some games. But I think this is more telling for the Cowboys than the Panthers, man. The Cowboys are almost kind of struggling in a way. Offensively, they're putting up some points, but their defense is just not doing it, man. The Cowboys need to figure it out. But, big win for the Panthers this week. Next game, personally, I just enjoyed the way this game went. Steelers go and pick up a win against the Browns, man. I like seeing this, just seeing the Steelers, they've kind of found a rhythm here, I think. Aaron Rodgers is playing well. I'm glad to see it. They won 23-9. Browns obviously have a really good defense. But I think, seeing DK Metcalf more involved than what they really started the year, seeing him get a touchdown, seeing Aaron Rodgers, kind of looking like vintage Aaron a little bit, I think is allowing this team to really start to flourish on offense a little bit. They're not putting up 30, 40 points, but I think they're playing some good football. I think Kenny Gainwell is playing well, running the football. I think he's doing a little bit better than they started the year. I'm kind of pleased with the Steelers, man. They picked up a big win, and I was impressed. A game really, want to, at least look at now. This is Monday. We're filming this, but Monday night, obviously tonight, when this is posted, this game's going to already be decided. But the Bills, man, the Bills play the Falcons tonight at home. Co-host Braden obviously is not here. He is actually at the game. He is at the game tonight. So hopefully he'll be on next week and he can talk about how things go, man. Hopefully the Falcons can pick up a win. But very interesting game, man. Obviously the Bills are, one of the better teams in the NFL, and Falcons get to play at home on prime time. We'll get to see how this game goes and how they play. Obviously coming off of that 30-0 loss to the Panthers, and then they rebounded and picked up a big win against the Commanders. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how this game goes and seeing how the Falcons can compete against one of the better teams in the NFL. So hopefully the Falcons can pick up a win, but we'll see, man, and we'll talk about it next week. And then let's run through some games that happened this weekend, man. We saw the Chargers go and pick up a win against the Dolphins. 2-point win, 27-29. Dolphins just don't look very good. They're not a very good football team this year. It doesn't seem like very talented, but they just don't have it. Chargers finally are picking up a win, and hopefully they can continue this trend. But offensively looked all right. So hopefully the Chargers, man, hopefully the Chargers can keep this thing rolling. But they picked up a win against the Dolphins. Miami, they fell 1-5, and I think we're really seeing the slow decline of the Dolphins. When Josh McDaniels first took over them, there was such a exuberance about where they could potentially go offensively, with the talent that they have, the wideouts, quarterback, everything. And I think everything has just kind of gone in the opposite direction. Now they're 1-5, one of the worst teams in the NFL, but one of the most talented teams in the NFL. So not a great look. We've got Tua on the podium talking negatively about the other players on the team. So I think this team needs to figure it out, man. It's not a great look in Miami. We saw the Rams take on another Lamarless Ravens squad, man. They got a 17-3 win, gritty win, but they got the win. Again, the Ravens, over half of their defensive payroll is on IR right now, and you got Lamar who's still out. So not much to expect from the Ravens. Rams go get a win. I actually thought the Rams would win this game bigger than they did. Ravens, fought as much as they could, but Rams got a big win and remain, one of the better teams in the NFL. Colts beat the Cards, man. Obviously, the Cards are without Kyler Murray this week. And really, like, the competitive game for the most part, man. More competitive than I thought. Jacoby Brissett played in place of Kyler Murray, and they were able to kind of keep this a game. But the Colts, continue their winning ways, man, and they picked up a win. Packers go and play a Bengals team that got Joe Flacco this past week in a trade. So Joe Flacco's actually playing the same team that he played before with the Browns. And so, obviously didn't get a win, but interesting storyline. Packers go and obviously beat the Bengals. Bengals, didn't look great. Bengals, in my opinion, are just not a very good football team. They've got some talent. Obviously, they've got talent, but I just don't think, without Joe Burrow, they're not really doing a whole lot. And actually, really looking at the way this team has played, really, even if they had Joe Burrow, I think they're going to be in these games, but I still don't see them winning many of these games. I just don't think the Bengals are very good, to be honest. But Packers got to win, man. Bucks go and pick up a win against the 49ers. Bucks look like a really good football team. Continue to look like a really good football team. 49ers, obviously, terrible loss of Fred Warner, man. One of the better defenders in the league, one of the better linebackers in the league. And obviously another crippling, loss for them, when it comes to their roster. And another, severe injury, man. Another just, bad injury. So, that continues to pile up. We've talked about it before here on the show. But Bucks go and pick up a big win. We saw Baker go do his thing. And Bucks get a big win against a beat-up 49er squad, man. And this upcoming week, man, week 7, we're almost halfway there. We're almost halfway through the season already. The season's flown by. I think the top 5 at least interesting games of the week. I think we've got the Falcons at the 49ers. At least for me, just being a Falcons fan, obviously our co-host Braden too. But I think, seeing what they do tonight against the Bills and then traveling out west, to play San Fran, man. See how things go, man. They've kind of been hot and cold this year, and hopefully they can pick up a win. But just interested to see how they do. Just want to see Penix kind of find a rhythm, and obviously Bijan and get back healthy and everything, and just kind of find a rhythm and pick up some wins. Eagles at Vikings. Vikings are an interesting football team. They're actually a pretty good football team. Actually a little bit better than I was expecting them to be this year. Obviously, Eagles coming off a tough loss this week to the Giants, but they got, the extra 3 days to prepare and rest, and so hopefully they should be ready to play a Viking squad that obviously is still going to be rocking with Carson Wentz, and I think the Eagles should pick up a win, but we'll see, man. We'll see how this offense does because their offense, in my opinion, has looked a little bit worse every week, and hopefully they can get things going. But the Vikings are a decent football team. Commanders, Cowboys. Commanders traveling to the Cowboys. Interesting game. I actually think there's going to be some points in this game. Obviously, Cowboys defense is not doing very well, but their offense is. And Commanders, obviously have a very good offensive roster. So I think offensively, this game might be one of the higher scoring games of the week. Rivalry game, obviously, interconference game, interdivision game. There's a lot on the line in this game. I'm very, very intrigued in watching this game because I think offensively this could be a shootout. A lot of big plays I think are going to be made in this football game. I'm really excited to see how this goes, man. This is going to be fun. Two really good quarterbacks in Dak and Jaden Daniels. Playmakers all over the board. Really, really excited to see, Pickens, see how he plays. He's played very, very well. Him and Dak have linked up a lot. And see Jaden Daniels, after being out for a while, has now kind of gotten in a rhythm a little bit. I'm excited to see this, man. This is going to be a really, really good game. And there's a lot on the line for these two teams. Cowboys really need to win here. They really, really need to win. So, both teams really need to win. But Cowboys at home, they might pick up a win here. I would lean Cowboys in my opinion, actually. I think with this being a higher scoring game, I would lean Cowboys. I just don't trust their defense in a lower scoring game to not give up points. So did the Cowboys win this one, but very, very interesting game. And then Bucks and Lions, man. I think this is the big game of the week. Very, very intriguing game. Two very good teams. Bucks are playing maybe the best football in the league right now. Very, very excited to see how this game goes, man. Baker's playing MVP level football. Lions obviously have a really good defense. Weapons all over the board on offense. Jared Goff is going to be slinging that football, man. I think this game could potentially also have some points. I really like what I see out of both of these teams. I do think I will lean Bucks in this. I know they're on the road, but they're playing really good football, and Baker's playing really, really good football. And we'll see, who they can get back. I know the Bucks do have a couple injuries, especially on offense, but I think this week is going to be a big one. I can't remember if this is going to be a primetime game or not. Let me check here. Yeah, this is going to be Monday night. Monday Night Football. Big game. Great way to close the weekend. Excited for this weekend. Great lineup of games. Excited. Sucks not having the co-host here, but we got to do what we got to do. Things going on, but we'll get things going, man. I'm very, very excited about this week. Glad to be back on the pod after a week off. Just kind of getting the health back together. But we'll jump on it, man, this week and get some reaction to this weekend's games. Weekend looks like a great weekend of football as always, and we'll keep this thing rolling, man. Glad to speak some more heat, man. See you later.